Today we're going to cover Maf'ulun Bi. We might be able to cover 2 chapters because they're both real short. And they're connected to one another. So we'll see, inshallah. Al-Maf'ul. Al-Amthila are examples. Al-Amthila, the examples. Right? I'll read the first one. Shadda tilmidhu al-habl. Shadda al-tilmidhu al-habl. The student tied the rope. Shadda, tied or tightened. It could be fastened, right? Fastened. Al-habl is the rope. وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ. Hold together to the rope of Allah. Right? One second here. I got it. Shadda tilmidhu al-habl. And we'll go over the sentences in a minute. The student tied or tightened or fastened the rope. Number 2, read it for us, Abdullah.
Tawatul bintu thawb.
Tawatul bintu thawba. Naam. Right? Number 3, Zubair.
أكل الذئب الخروف.
نعم. أكل الذئب الخروف. نعم. خروف. So what is to fold? Right? Al-bint tawat. Tawat al-bint. The girl folded the thob, the clothing. Right? Thob doesn't mean like the long thing that we wear. Thob means an article of clothing. Right? That long thing we wear. Right? That's called a qamis. Or jalabiya. Or in Egyptian a jalabiya. In Kuwaiti a dishdasha. Right? So it doesn't necessarily mean thob, like what we think of thob when we think of, is there a thob for sale in the masjid or something, you know? Bring me back a couple thobs. Thob could be basically any item of clothing. Akala, to eat. A-dhib is the wolf. Sheep, the young sheep. Young sheep. طوت البنت الثوبة أكل الذئب الخروف. ياسين.
نعم. يربع سابق جائزة.
Is يربح? It's not there. The letter's not there. The vowel. يربح السابق الجائزة or جائزة. يربح السابق جائزة. Yarbah means to gain or to win or to profit. All of them are, but here mostly means to win. As-sabiq, like for instance, the ribh from your transaction, the ribh. Right? Rib. That's your profit from your transaction. As-sabiq is from sabaqa, meaning to proceed. So a sabiq is the one who preceded, but here it means the winner. The one who went across the line first. The one who won the race or won the competition. As-sabiq. Jaiza is a prize. Prize. Alright? جائزة. يربح السابق جائزة. Abdullah.
نعم.
Read number 5.
There yet يصيد
نعم.
تطلب دجاجة.
نعم. يصيد الثعلب دجاجة. يصيد, to hunt. Right? To hunt. الثعلب is a fox. الثعلب is a fox. Dajaja is a chicken. So the ثعلب hunts the chicken.
دجاجة is a chicken.
Dajaja. Rooster is deek. Dajaja female is that. Number 6. Muharram, assalamu alaikum. Read it for us.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. Number 6. يبيع قصاب اللحم.
Naam. Yabi'u, to sell. Right? Al-Qassab is the butcher. What does the butcher sell? Meat. Lahm. Right? So the butcher sells meat. Now, we go back to number 1. Shadda tilmidul habla. The student tied the rope. The girl folded the clothes. The wolf ate the sheep. Look at those 3. Huh?
Young sheep.
The young sheep. Shadda tilmidu. We see the one who's doing the action. We learned last week is called the fa'il. The one doing the action is the fa'il, the doer. The student is the one tying the rope. The bint is the one folding the clothes. The dhib, the wolf, is the one eating the sheep, our young sheep. And every time our fa'il is marfu'. And it's the one doing the action. The student is tying, the girl is folding, the wolf is eating. What is getting eaten, or what is getting tied? The rope, it's mansoob. The thobe, it's mansoob. The khuruf, it's mansoob. Same thing over here. Yarbahu sabiq, the one who won the race, the winner, is marfu'. Yasidu thalab, the fox is hunting, the fox is doing the hunting, it's the doer, it's marfu'. Yabi'ul qassab, the butcher is selling, it's marfu'. What did it win? It won a prize. The object of the winning was mansoob. The object of the hunting, mansoob, the jaja. The object of selling, lahm, mansoob. So we see that the maf'ulun bihi, al-maf'ulu bihi, is the object of the verb. We see 2 things here. We see that the maf'ulul bihi is an ism, right? And it's mansoob. The maf'ulun bihi is an ism. It's a noun. Remember we said there are 3 parts of speech: an ism, a noun, a fi'l, a verb, and a harf, a particle. That's all Arabic. So which one does the maf'ulun bi fall under? Ism. Which one does the fa'il fall under? Ism. And we'll get there inshallah ta'ala. So the thing we need to know is the maf'ulun bihi is an ism. And it's mansoob. Okay, here is al-muwazina bain al-fa'il wal-fi'l. Like, al-muwazina is like comparing, weighing between the fa'il and the maf'ulun bihi. The doer and the object of the doer of the verb and the object of the verb. These are just more examples. We don't have to necessarily read them. It's the same thing. Yajurru al-hisan al-ajala. Yajurru is to pull. Hisan is a horse. Al-ajala is a cart. So the horse pulls the cart. Qataf al-ghulam al-zahra. The young boy picked or pulled flowers. Rabatat Fatimatul Jadya. Rabatat is basically to fix or to tie, right? To fix or to tie. A Jadya is a young billy goat. So she tied the young billy goat. Al Jadya is a young billy goat. Rabatat is to tie, just like we had the word shadda. Yasqi al-fallah al-zara. Yasqi is to water. Al-fallah is a farmer. Al-zara is a field or the crops. So the farmer waters the crops. قذف اللاعب القرة. Qadafa is to throw. Al-la'ib is the player. The player, like a la'ib on a team, a basketball team player, a soccer team player. Al-qurra, a ball. So the player threw the ball. Habasa al-shurti al-lissa. Habasa is to arrest or to detain. Al-shurti is the police officer. The police are called a shurta. One officer is called a shurti. A shurti, the officer arrested al-liss, the thief. We see the same pattern here in these 6 examples. We see the same pattern, huh? Al-hisanu, he's the one pulling the cart, and the cart is mansoob. Al-ghulamu, the one doing the pulling of the zahrata, mansoob. Fatimatu, she's the one tying al-jadya, the billy goat. Yaski al-fallahu, he's the one, the farmer is the one watering al-zar'a, the crops or the field. Qadafa al-la'ibu, the doer is marfu', he threw the qurrata, mansoob. Al-shurtiyu, marfu', he's the one who arrested the lissa, mansoob. So what do we learn from that? Something that we already know. We learn from these 12 examples that we just read. أن كل فعل فاعل وكل مفعول به اسم. That the fi'l and the maf'ulun bihi they are nouns. They are nouns. The fi'l, or the fa'il rather, the fa'il and the al-maf'ulu bihi, they are nouns. Ism. وأن الفاعل هو الذي صدر عنه الفعل. He's the one who does the action. The fa'il is the one who does the action. وأن المفعول به هو الذي وقع عليه الفعل. The maf'ul bihi is the one that the action falls upon, the object of the action. And al-fa'ila akhiruhu marfu'. The fa'il is marfu'. And the maf'ul bihi, the akhiruhu, the end of it is mansoob. That's pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
So now we got akala. Right? We got shariba. We got dafa'a. We have rabata. We have habasa. Okay, let's look at these. Just bear with me. Okay. Akala. We're going to make our fa'il. And this we're going to say, one second here. Fa'ala. Fa'ala. Just like that. So we're going to make our fa'ala, akala, shariba, dafa'a, rabata, habasa. We're going to change them to the same scale as fa'il. We need to balance this out here. So we're going to take, and we're going to, we have our hamza here. We're going to put our hamza there. Then we're going to put our alif, which is that alif there, right? And then we're going to put our other two letters. So we have fa'il. We're going to have akil. But we're not going to have two alifs together like that. What we're going to do instead, we're going to make them into a mud. We're going to say akil. He's the one eating. And then, now we're going to put it on the same scale as this over here. We're going to say our fa is here, right? And our fa here is an alif. Our ayn here is a kaf. So we add a waw after that, right? And then we have a lam here is a lam. So we say, like we have maf'ul. We have ma'ul. Something which was eaten is ma'kul. So for instance, if somebody came and put a Subway sandwich in the refrigerator and they wanted it for later, but then I came along and ate it, when they come ask me, where's my sandwich? I say, ma'kul. It's eaten. It's eaten. Right? It's eaten. Right? Who ate it? Ana al-akil. I'm the one who ate it. I'm the akil. I'm the eater. You understand? We're going to start at the bottom this time. Muharram, do for us shariba. What's the fa'il for shariba?
Sharibun.
Sharibun. Does everyone see how that's on the exact same scale as fa'ilun?
No.
Okay, what's the maf'ul?
The maf'ul will be mashrabun. No, mashrubun.
Mashrubun. Mashrubun. Same thing. Somebody put a soda in there, I drank it. It's mashrub. Right? For instance, someone could come put on there. Let me think. I'm trying to think. This isn't something I've seen, so I'm just trying to think. But you could, for instance, put on something which is not drinkable, like hydrogen peroxide. As an example, you might find something like ghayru mashrub, like not for drinking. That's not what it says. I'm just giving an example how you can find these things. You understand? Dafa'a, Yasin. Dafa'a is to push, or it can also be to spend. Right?
The
To spend.
fa'il will be dafa'un. Dafi'un.
Dafi'.
And the maf'ul
Naam.
will be daf'ubun. No. Daf'u'un. No. Maf'u'un. Madfu'un.
Madfu'un. Naam. I did that one. Madfu'un. See, I want to do everything that I did to maf'ul. I want to be able to replace that with that. So I got my dal, my fa, my ain. So I want to do maf'ulun. So my fa, my ain, my lam. The meme and the waw, those are extra letters. Right? But we want to put them in where they belong. So, madfu'un. Madfu'un could be the person who was pushed, or it could be the bill. It's paid. It's paid. You push away from you that debt. Right? You got a debt? No, I pushed that away by paying it. Right? So, madfu'. It's paid. Rabata. Zubair.
رابط مربوط.
رابط مربوط. Okay, now a rabit, it doesn't necessarily have to be a person, as we learned in some of our examples. It could be other than a person, the fa'il, right, or the maf'ul. Right? It could be a thing. So example, a rabit, someone who tied something or linked something. When you tie something, you link it to this pole here, right? You tied it to the pole, you linked it. So a link, like if I send you a link to YouTube, it's called a rabit. Something which links you, because it's doing the linking. That link, that address I send you, links you to the video I want you to go to. It's not the video, it's the link to the video. So it links you to the video. If I said to you as an example, did you put the video link up or whatever, you could say it's marbut, it's linked. I made a file, I put it up online, it's able to be accessed, it's linked, it's marbut, something which is tied up, right? There's that link, the link was made, right? The article that was written, it's linked now to the internet. So the article is now marbut, as an example. Just like the jadya was marbut, the young billy goat was tied up to the by the girl, Fatima. Now we have the last one. And this was by no intended purposes, Ya Abdullah. Habasa. To arrest. He arrested. How would I write this, Abdullah, the fa'il?
Habisun.
Habis. Habis is the one doing the arresting. Is the one doing the arresting. Right? And the one arrested is what?
Habisun. Hahbusun.
Mahbusun. So if you're writing, you're going to say, hey, for instance, I got a brother right now in St. Louis. His nephew accidentally killed somebody in a fight. Right? And he's in jail. And they're trying to get him out by paying the blood money. But right now, you would talk about that individual as being mahbus. Mahbus. He's arrested. He's tied up. He's detained. So let's go back. The bear left out, huh? Let's go up where we started at. Is that where we started? No. One more. More than one more. There we go. Okay. Let's look at this and let's try to make a generic fa'il and maf'ulun bihi in these sentences. What do I mean by generic? Here, you have a specific fa'il, tilmiz. Right? This one might be, these might be a little bit hard here. Shaddid. I don't know. Give me a second here. Anyway, let me go to the ones I can do easy, because there's one which is doubled and one which has a weak word, then it's going to be hard. But for instance, akala is the verb. Dhi'bun, the wolf, here he is the akil. He's the one who did the eating. And the khuruf is the
مفعول.
who knows? Right, it's the maf'ul, but do it in the akala.
مأكول.
Oh, okay.
He's the ma'kul. You understand? So yarbah is to gain or profit. The sabiq is the one who did it. But how do we say he's the one who did this? In generic terms, we'll say he's the rabih. Fa'il, rabih. And the ja'iza is what? The maf'ulun, but on the scale of rabih.
Oh,
Marbuh.
he's Rabbi. Yeah, marbuh.
So it's as if I'm saying here, for instance, okay, يربح يربح الرابح المربوح. The profiter profited the prophet. Right? Or the winner won the winnings. You understand? أكل الآكل المأكول. The eater ate the eaten thing. You understand? يصيد الثعلب دجاجة. صاعد would be the فاعل. صاعد. صاعد يصيد الصاعد I don't know. This one's got that al-Masud. I'm not sure because of the weak verb there. Right? I'm not sure because of the weak ya here. I'm not really sure. Anyway, the point here, ya Akhwan, is that we have a fa'il. It could be general, or it could be generic, or it could be detailed, such as a tilmeed, right? And such as it could be a shadid, maybe. I don't think so, right? We have akala, akil. So any verb, we're able to make a file. These are the form 1 verbs. Yarbahu, ar-rabih, marbuh. We're able to make a file and a maf'ulun out of our verbs by following that pattern of fa'il and maf'ul. That's for form 1 verbs. And the main thing is that we want to know that the fa'il is marfu' and that the maf'ulun bihi is mansub. Here, the problem with the examples that I was doing here is that, number one, some of these weak verbs with the yas and the wows and stuff and the shaddas, I'm not really that skilled in them, we'll say, to just start pulling them out. But on top of that, form 1 doesn't always have a fa'il on the same scale as fa'il. Sometimes it could be a different fa'il or a different maf'ul. But there is a rule, but it could change. But here, when we get to form 2, 2 through 10, then they never ever change. Never. They never change. So if we have, for instance, safara, right? Safara, to travel. The person who does the traveling is a musafir. And the object of the traveling would be musafar. You just change the kasra to a fatha. Musafar. And this will go for any form 2 verb that you find. Now, they could have another form as well. They could have, but they will have this form. So we have, for instance, baraka, to bless. We have mubarak, right? Mubarak is the one who blesses. The fa'il. And when we tell someone, when they do something, you'll hear them say, Mubarak. Mubarak. Meaning, you are blessed. You're the object of the blessing. You received the blessing. Mubarak. Right? We have Daris. Darasa. Meaning, to make someone study. We have darasa, to study. Darasa is the one who, no, let me see. Yeah. Darasa, the one who teaches. So then we have Mudarris. That's the third one anyway, I'm sorry. Darasa. But it's the same thing. Darasa to Mudarris. Darasa is to make someone study. Mudarris on this same Mudarris. And then the maf'ul would be Mudarras. But it's not used that often, but that's what it would be. Mudarras. And the same goes for any form of the verb that you find on any of these scales. Now, if you want to study these things, there's books, but there's the app called Cave, or it might be called Al-Mughara in Arabic. It's expensive, like 15 bucks, but it breaks down all the verbs, gives you the charts. It does everything. You can search by scale and everything. So the maf'ul of, Cave. The maf'ul of astaghfara, like istaghfara. The maf'ul is mustaghfar. Just following the pattern that we have there. Mustaghfar. The fa'il is mustaghfir. And so if you memorize these charts right here, you will always know. And so for instance, if I see a word, we'll use this scale here. Number 5. If I see the word muta'allam, and it's in a famous book about the etiquette of seeking knowledge by Jarjani, I believe. Muta'allim. Here, muta'allim is the fa'il. I can go back and I can learn, okay, what is this word talking about? I don't understand muta'allim. I can go back to my form here and say ta'allum. And I remember ta'allum or ta'allama means to learn. So now I know the muta'allim. Muta'allim is the doer of the learning. So that's the student. And you can replace any of these words like this in any of these forms. Any of these forms you can replace. And go back and find the form, find the file, find the maf'ul, find the masdar, which we'll get to inshallah in the future. But you can find the masdar, find the fi'l, find the madi, find the mudari, and then therefore you can know what these words mean. And you multiply your vocabulary by learning how to do this. The main point of the lesson was for us to know, and I don't know what happened to my screen. There we go. I did something. The main part for us to know is that the maf'ul bihi is mansoob. And the fa'il is marfu'. That's the main part. But here, you can learn the scales or sound verbs. Those that have weak letters, then it takes a little bit more practice. Right? So any verb, let me see. Give me a second.
It is down to 15 though.
Huh?
I said it's $15.
No, it's 10 forms.
And I said $15 for the app.
Oh yeah, $15. No. Let me see.
It gives you the English part word. Well,
Yes. For
definitely.
the most part, yes. I'm trying to look. Okay, I'm just looking. I'm looking at the hadith from استخارة. كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يعلمنا is here. So the fa'il is the mu'allim. Mu'allim. That's the fa'il. That's the teacher. What was taught would be mu'allam. Again, some of these words you might not hear that often, but that's what it is. Mu'allam. That's what was taught. That could also be the student in this case, but it's not really meant to be the student, right? Then you have يعلمنا الاستخارة في الأمور إذا هم فليركع ركع راكع. The one who does the ruku' is the rakia, the one in ruku'. And even though you may never hear it, markur would be something that was made prostration, right? Astaqdiruka, right? Astaqdiruka. Here, number 10. The fa'il would be mustaqdir. The one who gave power. The one who received it, mustaqdar. Right? Sa'ala. Sa'il. Not with that hamza there. Man, I'm trying to erase and I'm doing all kinds of other stuff. Sa'ala. Sa'il. The questioner. Mas'ul. Something which will be asked about. Mas'ul. The one who is being questioned. Mas'ul. The object of the questioning is the mas'ul. So the object of this word, as we talked about before, mas'ul is the one who's responsible for something. Because he's going to be questioned. Right? So he's responsible. So the word kullukum ra'in wa kullukum mas'ulun an ra'iyati. All of you are shepherds and all of you are responsible for his flock. All of you will be asked about your flock. So the husband is a ra'i', he's a shepherd, and he will be mas'ulun an ra'iyatihi. He will be questioned about his responsibility, about his flock. You understand? The wife is a shepherd when her husband is gone, and she is mas'ula on her flock, on her husband's belongings while he's gone. She's mas'ula, she's responsible. What happened to my, why do you ask somebody something, man? Where's my shoes? Why you ask me where your shoes? Why would I ask Zubair right now where my shoes are? Zubair ain't got nothing to do with my shoes. But if I ask my wife, where are my shoes? She said, I'm not responsible for your shoes. Well, you were the one cleaning the hallway last time. So yeah, you are. Because you're the one that picked up stuff and moved it. So you're the one to be asked because you were the one who did it. You're responsible. So all of this goes in. This comes from the fa'il, the maf'ul, the masdar. And I'm just talking. If you guys have any questions, let me know. No questions, huh?
Pretty clear.
The main thing out of the lesson is, like I said, for you to know that the fa'il is marfu' and that the maf'ulun bihi is mansub. But how to make it and all that is only going to help you. So sabiq, how do I know what that is? It's on the scale of fa'il. Right? It's on the scale of fa'il. Right?
So nouns are totally different though.
Huh?
Nouns.
Yeah, now you just have to kind of learn them, but there's patterns for them too, which, if Allah blesses us, we'll get into that as we go. Like tilmeed and habal and bint and thob, those have some ways that they get there as well. But, you know, everything comes with time. This is the difficulty of learning grammar in English, because an Arab would have already understood much of this. It would just make sense to him and be easy. But for us, you know, especially with this chart with the different forms, right? So I'm trying to think. I mean, I can look at different verbs. That's the issue. I look at number 2. Look at number 1. Let's see if I can find it. Number 1. Yeah. Anyway, I'm trying to see if I can find one with yeah, like we had when we went up here and we had shadd. So I found it. Shad would be the fa'il. Shad for this form here. This form 1, but it has the doubled verb, so it'd be shad. Would you just add the alif in there like that? It'd still be shad. So the one who tied, right? And the maf'ulun here, the haba would be mashdud. Mesh.
Can I ask a question?
Huh?
I was gonna ask you a question about the shadda too.
Go ahead.
Some the rawi, you know, Shaddad ibn Aus, right? The Sahabi.
Okay.
What form is that? Shaddad or Hammam?
That. You're asking that easy there, brother. Give me a second here. Nope. Let me look. I'm looking. What form is shaddad? That's not an easy question.
Wait a second. Is that comes from shadid? Is there a different word than shadda?
Shadda, and shadda is the root word of all of that. But shaddad, where does it come from? I don't know. I can't, and I don't see it. I can't find it. Let me see.
Shadda, shadid. Okay. Shadda is the word.
No, I can't. Let me see.
But shad is he said form 1, not 2.
Shadda is form 1. Why is it form 1? Because it only has 3 letters. Sheen, Dal, Dal. Whereas form 2 has 4 letters. Fa, Ain, Ain, Lam. Whereas Shad only has 3. Just the Dal is twice. Whereas here, this is